Gentlemen, we are here in week 5 of the Overwatch Esports PS4 League with Aporia versus Eternity. We're going to start off in Lijiang Tower in just a second. We just have to ensure all substitutes and compositions are ready on part of the teams.
No one's saying anything yet. Do you have a link for the stream for general chat?
Yes, I do. It's going in now. Alright, look at that. We are right on time.
I know,
4:59.
right?
We're all set up. We'll give it just a minute to make sure everyone actually sees the link in the chat and the admins can get
Yep.
everything set up how they need, and then we'll get right into it.
So what can we say about the two teams getting started? What do we know about them?
Aporia, formerly uh, Busan Warriors, they're let me check their stats right now. I know that they've been one of the more consistent teams in the league so far this season. I believe they've
Um,
had a rough go of it. I think they've played a lot of solid teams out of the gate. Like they played Empire, they played Unity, and I believe they also played Viral. So three very strong teams. So even though they're currently 0-4 in standings, their map
yep.
differential isn't as bad as 0-4 would have you believe, and also uh, the strong
They
teams that they
fought the harder
faced.
part of their schedule.
Exactly. I think this week, like obviously facing off against Eternity, this could be their break onto the scoreboard, and then they'll have a. I think what you'd see perhaps an easier set following the next few weeks, facing off other teams that tend to be on the weaker side of the standings currently. I mean, their week
And
6 is
Eternity's a new
imperfect,
team,
which
correct?
is yes. I believe they're right now playing in place of the Stockholm Rangers. So they have. I'm not sure if they're inheriting the win loss of the Rangers or if they're starting like the Brotherhood did, where they forfeit the first matches that they were not able to play in and just pick up halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, I think these are Eternity's an unproven team, and Warriors, I would say, are just a team where the opening circumstances of their season have left them in a position that is less flattering than I think where they deserve to be. So you'll you'll see both of them very hungry for their first win each, and I think we'll see a lot of interesting comps now that Brig has been nerfed. McCree has seen a buff. We'll see a lot of interesting stuff that revolves outside of kind of the goats meta. It'll be pretty interesting to see. So,
I mean, I know for one, I certainly wouldn't mind seeing less Brig. Certainly an overpowered hero if there ever was one. And I
all
know you
right.
have strong opinions about that one as well.
So, uh, AXCRID. That guy is on Aporia. So swap the
Who does
Eternity
he
player
swap with
to.
though?
He swaps with him and Draz are apparently both on Aporia.
I'm guessing some of these Shanghai Dragons guys are supposed to go to Eternity.
Uh, they'll tell us when and if. Sorry, guys, we just don't have a player list, so we're going to need to figure this out in DMs. Looks like here.
I'm just gonna swap everyone with the Shanghai Dragons over to red. Do Eternity for now.
Ski ID
And
is yeah, he's Eternity, and we'll figure out where Stumpy belongs real quick.
yeah, Ski ID, Hunter
Stumpy is an
Killer.
Eternity player as well. It looks like so. I suppose they just
All
have
right. So we're short one for Aporia.
Ruben is Aporia apparently.
Ruben is Aporia. All right.
And then put in Stumpy, and I think that's how it goes.
Open up a slot and put
Put
zone
zone
in.
in.
Select a zone. How do I open up a slot?
Under the game settings, I think you can expand how
Yeah, I
many
opened a
spectator
slot.
slots there are. All right. So then anyone on Aporia can just invite Zone. He'll join, and he's co-captain, so he'll be allowed to spectate for Aporia. So make sure that he's just limited to one team spectating.
On it. Thank you everyone for your patience with this currently thrilling gameplay. Deleting my channel at 50 million subs.
Hard to believe. That was PewDiePie was talking about deleting his channel at 50 mil subs like not even a year ago. He's at like 70 mil now. That's crazy.
Oh, that guy.
What a goof. Yeah. All right. So Zone says give me a sec. He's just about to join, and then I believe that should be everything.
And then we can start. I think I'm the only person actually watching the YouTube stream currently. I'm gonna relink it. And there's a huge delay.
Alrighty. So Zone still needs an invite. Uh, his team should probably get him an invite at some point or another.
Alright, we're ready to begin.
Let's just make sure Zone actually gets in. Right now he's
Yep.
joining, and then make sure he's set to only spectate Aporia. Then we're good to go.
Come on, Zone Edge. We're all waiting for you. No pressure, bro. And he is not in.
Well, we're allowed to delay this to 5:15, and then once we get there, if he's still having troubles joining, we're just gonna start it.
Yep. Alright. Captain for Aporia said just start.
Alright.
Wait, Zone Edge said wait. God damn it. I'll restart app.
Well, he's got 6 minutes on the clock.
Alright, let's just start it.
Alright, and here we go. We are into Lijiang Tower with Aporia versus Eternity. We'll see what map we have to start here. And it looks like we are starting in Control Center. So, Control Center, a very good brawl map. You see often lots of Rein Zarya be played to control the white room, and from there, with its slight high ground, really dominate any presence that the opposing team might have on the point. We'll see from both teams a Rein Zarya, and both teams seem to be running goats. You see an Ana goats versus a Moira goats, so the anti-nade is going to be really pivotal in how these fights play out. So we'll be putting a lot of emphasis on how Drastic uses his abilities here, since that will be the win condition.
Now Aporia is going to be our light blue color team, and we're going to have crap.
Eternity.
Eternity, yeah, thank you, is our dark blue team. Again, Aporia light blue, Eternity dark blue.
Round one. Capture.
Teams are a fan of the blue in this league.
It's a nice color. I'm a fan of blue as well. Fortunately, we have no option for white, so it's like turn up and get into high ground a little bit earlier.
Both teams playing for that white room. Aporia takes the space control and forces Eternity into that corridor. The lack of space just allows some big cleanup off of that brawl potential that Goats provides, and Aporia looks like they'll have first point without much confrontation.
Yeah, and they're even pushing all the way up the choke. Looks like they're going to back off it a bit though. Being careful not to push too hard. Alright.
Probably want to stay closer to their Ana. Any split positioning in Goats can be the end of it, especially when playing into a mirror comp, or at least another Goats variant. Nade gets a heal boost onto Aporia's tanks, but it doesn't hit the anti, so it looks like... Oh, there is a pick on Rugs. It looks like too much focus on him. Anti on the Diva. Cleanup should be here for free. Coalescence way late in the fight. I don't think that's going to do anything for Eternity here. And Jam Jam does get picked off. So we're coming into the start of lots of ults. We'll see the ult economy slightly in favor of Aporia here. They have a beat just about ready, as well as the other support ults. They got Nano and Rally. You look at Eternity, however, they have Bomb that might be great to break into and split the team up. It's a great zoning tool. Space creation comes from it greatly. However, an aggressive charge comes in. Ooh, one might consider it a mistake. Not capitalized on due to the bomb, forcing cautious positioning on Aporia's part. However, a grab comes in and catches big number. There's no nade to prevent heals on it. Bomb cleans up anyways, and this is going to be Aporia's fight again. A little bit of a stagger on Hunter Killer, and this is going to be the last proper team fight that Eternity has for this map here. We're going to see what they can pull out here. So we're now taking the perspective of Hunter Killer. His objective right here is eat the ante. That's going to be big. Shatter comes in from Aporia, gets aggressive, kills Stumpy and Film Guy. This fight might be over before it even started. This is going to take quite a lot of strokes of luck for Eternity to pull this one out.
Eternity staying on point. Oh, and that's about it. Well, they have a Lucio hiding up top. No one seems to see
Moira and Lucio playing the stall game, but once they're cleaned up, I think this is going to be the map. And there it is, 100-0, a very dominant opening. We'll see if Eternity can bring it back in this next map here.
I think they have potential. We'll see if there are any swaps going on for the next map here. I think at the end there, Lucio was doing a good stall. He made a mistake coming off high ground. Although I don't know that it would have made much difference one way or the other.
I think at that point the damage was done. They needed bigger plays earlier in the round for anything of significance to happen, to perhaps sway that point going in their favor. You'll see composition changes from both. No more goats. We're now going to see mirror pharmacies, McCree and Ashe as the hit scan counters, and then we'll see again an Ana on Aporia, Moira on Eternity.
And we've still got that Ryan Zarya.
Looks like the Aporia is going white room. They get in and control the space before Eternity can really set anything up.
Oh,
Film Guy does punish with the hit scan, punish the aggressive Pharah. See
if Eternity can make some space with their pharmacy.
Few heroes on point for Aporia.
Yeah, despite having numbers, Eternity's not really taking a ton of advantage that we get.
Not really. A high charge pocketed Zarya. This is scary. However, Stumpy does get the focus on him, and it looks like Eternity is going to force Aporia off the point. Now would be a great time to regroup, and they do so. They back out, and they're going to try a different approach. They're going double hit scan, Widow McCree into this far. Hunter Killer's going to have to play very smart here to keep from getting picked.
Oh, absolutely. They're very concerned about that pharmacy, and
so, Aporia pushing white room. They've got their Rhine onto point. Bubbled getting aggressive, looking for charge on his Shatter. They move in. He's critical, but he gets the heals on. Valk keeps Aporia alive, and with numbers, they should be able to clean this up. Ruggs gets res. Jam Jam finishes a res right in their face, but it looks like Aporia just has the damage. The charge on the Zarya is crazy right now. The spam from that far is coming back to bite them as Aporia just cleans up the point relatively quickly.
Jam Jam tried to pull off something sneaky hiding up top, but got fixed.
Yep. Now, both teams here equipped with a Graviton. That'll definitely be how the fight coming up here is determined. Whoever gets off the Grav first, or the bigger Grav, they're probably going to get the point. So we'll have to put a lot of focus on.
First pick by Aporia.
Early pick. The Widow just proving to be valuable. Both supports off the barrage, however, the numbers just aren't there.
Yeah. Hunter Killer had a big play, but Aporia holds this one.
Film Guy looking for some chip damage here. He almost picks the McCree.
We've got Hunter Killer now switched onto Widow. Plays that a little bit differently. And
see this? Ooh, that's the danger of playing at a crossfire angle away from your shield. The Widow, the one-shot kill potential makes it so that you have to be very tight and disciplined in your positioning, and that stagger will allow Aporia to gain a significant point advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Aporia cleaned up there. Oh, Hunter Killer's trying to even score a bit.
Ooh, body shot
And
gets Hunter Killer low. Hunter Killer swapping to the Widow as well. He wants to take this duel on. We're now seeing a double hit scan from both teams. Very slow rotation by Eternity. They've left themselves with only one fight here to secure the point. A big shatter. It collects the Rhine and the Mercy and the Zarya. With 2 picks, 3 picks, Eternity's going to get this. Looks like
Eternity can hold this one.
Choa trying to get out alive. Nope, jumps off the map after a bit of a self-stagger. That'll leave Eternity at about 65% coming into this next fight here. Again, very loose positioning on both teams. They're going to have to adapt to that in order to really take advantage of the shield to protect from Widowmaker. Choa swaps to the Tracer to deal with Hunter Killer, actually. Gets Film Guy. That's the problem with double sniper into a Tracer. The Tracer's harassment is very dangerous. Looks like the Brawl is going to make it onto the point. Here we are with Axe. He's trying to get the Widow out of the fight before any of this Brawl can be taken advantage of. Aporia with the numbers. The Brawl from Ruben just really cleans up all the squishies on point, and that's going to leave the numbers advantage to Aporia, and this is all she wrote. First map, Lijiang Tower goes to Aporia, 2-0.
Congratulations, Aporia, nice job. So a much better showing by Empire that second one, but let's see what happens on second map. Will be Blizzard World.
So this here was, I believe this was the Grav. Yeah. The barrage picked off the supports, but Ruben, so much damage onto the tanks stuck in that Grav, he just said, we already have such a big advantage here. Supports aren't needed, we'll clean this up by ourselves.
Alright, so I'm just setting up map 2 for us, which is going to be Blizzard World. Should I do Blizzard World Winter, or am I not supposed to change it?
Good question. Give me...
People will probably be salty. Oh no. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, let's see if everyone's ready to begin. Oh, Zone Edge is trying to get in. I accept your request. And he's in. Alright. Let's just check Discord, see if anyone has any issues.
Seems that we are allowed Blizzard World Winter, and seeing as it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Alright, sweet. Let's do it.
All right, let's get going here.
Alright, So we're starting map 2, which will be Blizzard World Winter. So far, Aporia took the first map. Let's see if Eternity can do anything different for this second map.
Now, what's interesting about Blizzard World is one of the most popular defenses for first point is an Orisa to the right of the objective from the defender's perspective in order to spam the really long sight lines that the attackers have to walk through to get to the point. Meanwhile, on second, both offense and defense, one of the strongest compositions due to the numerous high grounds is actually dive comp. So I think we're going to see a lot of composition swaps in order to take advantage of the geometry of this map. It's going to be really interesting to see what these teams come up with.
Alright. So far, it looks like this time it's going to be Aporia who's pulling out the Moira. AOA Showa, they're strong DPS, going to be going Junkrat. And they're out of the gates. Let's see.
The score is 1-0 for Aporia off of a 2-0 win on Lijiang Tower. We're now on to the second map, Blizzard World.
That's right.
Just reading
like
chat here.
A variation on goats coming out of Eternity here.
Yep, it looks like they're going to run their classic Moira goats. Meanwhile, Aporia seems to be running a heavy spam with McCree on the hit scan, Junkrat as their second projectile. Then we got Diva and Reinhardt as their tank comp. So, dive in off of Aporia. Heavy commitment from their Reinhardt. He gets punished for that overextension while his Diva was not there to matrix him. The Diva looks like she's low, pocketed by the Moira, but she can't... Oh, Choa, a little overextended, steps in front of his tanks. And too fast of a retreat from the Diva leaves the McCree out of the Matrix. He gets punished, and this is just a complete roll. Can they stagger Ruben on top of it? They did stagger Ruben off of it, and he does get bad spawns, so maybe it is worth it. It gets them through this choke here without any ability for Aporia to engage them, so I'm not sure how bad of a ult use that really was for them. It gives them possibly the hardest part of Streets phase to push through into a Rhine comp for free, right? Now we'll see Aporia swap to a Sombra over the McCree. They're looking for some ability disabling, hopefully trying to really punish... Oh, a bubble on the Rhine actually saves him from the hack, though probably not in his best interest. He's now far behind the team, split from it, but no focus from Aporia to take this Rhine. He gets out, and it looks like Aporia has given away what should have been a free kill to open up the fight, and they take it right back. They kill two supports. The Moira is their only heal and peel option for Eternity. This is a great opportunity to initiate for Aporia. And here they are. They pick rugs. They push them off the point. They're going to stagger the Diva a bit. Clean her up.
There's a questionable shatter there at the end, but all the way back here.
Trying to send a message.
All the way back to spawn.
So, looks like the Brig is back in the game to try and protect her Moira from stagger, but she leaves herself in the room with a Rhine. He shatters. He will pick up the, he'll get picked by the Diva, so no follow-up on that shatter, unfortunately, and now Eternity with the numbers, they're going to get aggressive, and you could see this actually be a completion of Streets if they capitalize on a few more picks here. Grav gets 3, no follow-up on it though. Hunter destroys Aporia's Zarya before anything can be made of the play.
And they clean everything up. Now, I think that's 2 plays now we've seen Ruben overextend on this map. I'd like to see a little more conservative play by him. Maybe that'll help them hold this last section indoors.
That's one thing you've noticed. In the first map of Lijiang, Aporia really showed their dominance over Eternity through aggressive Goats play, where the hesitation of the initiation by Eternity kind of left them in a situation where they were split or vulnerable to burst damage on part of Aporia. They've solved that problem. They have a lot better peel now, and that aggression from Aporia is just starting to fall flat, so they're going to have to adjust their strategy if they want to stop this cart here. Now, 4 minutes on the clock. Yeah, Brig is an essential part to Goats. She creates that support for the front line while also being a big piece in the brawl. A Grav gets both tanks. Bomb coming in behind. It catches the Bastion and their main heals in Ana. That just leaves the tanks to flounder. They're going to be picked off rather quickly, and that leaves us in a situation where there's one more fight for Eternity to win to complete this map with a lot of time in the bank. So this is really scary for Aporia. They're going to play around a Bastion strat. We'll see how it plays out. So the Bastion opening up. He's getting lots of heavy fire onto the Rhine shield. Ruggs cannot play to the point like he wants to. His brawl is severely limited to behind this pillar. He comes in with a shatter, picks off the Moira, but this Bastion in the back is not getting punished for his position out from behind a shield, and it looks like he's going to put down heavy damage. Hunter Killer gets picked off of it. Coming in is Aporia respawn advantage, and they'll hold it here with just under 3 minutes left.
Let's see if they're going to position on cart, or where Bastion's going to set up. Alright, he's off to the side. We can see Brig trying to get in there.
So we see Staggers coming in.
Why was Brig trying to take on that Bastion by himself?
Eternity staggering themselves here. This is really bad for them. With the respawn advantage and the numbers advantage of Aporia, there's no way Eternity's going to take that fight there. They just need to back out sooner than later, die quick, or leave the fight. But dying late like that just leaves them a lot of time between fights where they need to group up.
Yeah, my guess is that Brig felt like she was overextended and she was just trying to die there. But, I don't know, she would have been better off just jumping off the cliff and denying ult charge. Alright, looks like they're pushing back in. Eternity going for their last point here.
So it looks like they're playing in this mini cubby here, Eternity is. Sneaky Zarya, let's see. And keep in mind, he does have Grav here, so a big Grav coming in. There's 3, both tanks and a squishy. The follow-up is limited, and the heal nade keeps the tanks alive. A barrage Grav combo with tank on top absolutely cleans up Eternity. Aporia seems to have found their groove, and they are now holding strong. However, that was 3 ults used. They now only have support ults in Nano and Coalescence. We'll see how they use these to play against Bomb and Coalescence and Trance and Shatter. It's going to be a lot of ults stacked for Eternity here.
He got off a really nice grab there. It just looked like there wasn't enough communication to get the follow-up in position fast enough.
No, it looked like... Oh, here we go. There's the Nano coming in. Very aggressive on the Rhine. Coalescence and Trance to pocket him. He's not going down anytime soon. A Shatter doesn't do much. The Trance keeps them through it. Low health Ruben gets picked, and now we're in a situation where Rhines are down. So this will probably play to the advantage of the Bastion. It creates very rough situation for anyone who wants to peek out and play in open space. However, Hunter Killer, extremely high charge. I guess Flex on Ice Cream decided he'd get too aggressive on there. He thought he had the win in his pocket with the Rhine pick. Now they're in a tough situation. Stumpy takes out the tank, but it still looks like Aporia's fight here. They have a respawn advantage. However, Hunter Killer with this high charge is just picking off everyone. He's shredding here. Unfortunately, it looks like his backline left a little vulnerable. Both main supports down. There's a grab, opens up what should be an easy pick onto Ruben. He can't get the pick. He has to take cover away from the Bastion. Picks off Choa again. Hunter Killer just playing an absolutely crazy game, but respawn advantage takes its toll, and that looks like it's going to be a hold. Eternity gets the cart so far, but right at the end they just run out of steam and they stall out. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I realized I said Empire, by the way, instead of Eternity a couple times. My apologies to the Eternity. But yeah, that was a killer game by Hunter there. Just wasn't quite enough to carry. So he's going on Junkrat for defense. I guess he's decided to be the main DPS for real this time. And let's see how they do on the defensive side.
So, Eternity, now on defense, looks like they're going to be running Rein Zarya comp with an Ashe and Junkrat. So, the Ashe, very strong pick for these long line of sights you often see on Blizzard World, being played right about here, looking down to just behind the statue from the high ground to choke. Her burst damage off of both Dynamite for big cleave on these brawly comps you're seeing from Aporia. It's going to be a very strong play if Film Guy can hit his shots. However, the brawl often makes it so that targets are hard to be singled out. You know, Goat's its specialty is having just targets weave in and out of one another, and you can't track one for very long. You'll see actually a brawly comp, not Goats, however. Choa on the Mei, Ice Cream on the Reaper. They're planning on getting right in there, close the distance fast, and just brawl this one out and close the fight. Very smart. They don't want to push that line of sight, and they force the junk off the high ground. Very strong positioning from Aporia here. They come in, heavy focus on the Rein. Rein's traded. But now you're left with Aporia not playing as brawly as they want. They've got Ice Cream on a flank. However, Axe and Choa have enough point presence to keep the fight alive and keep the point contested. Cream comes in, he does kill 2, and that's the fight very, very convincingly for Aporia. Seems like both teams have very convincing offenses here, at least on first point. We'll see if this can be replicated on streets for Aporia, where they just roll through Eternity here.
Now, we'll remember that Eternity really pushed hard until that last section. Once they got indoors, it kind of fell apart.
Yep. So we see some counter swaps coming in. Hunter Killer plays the Pharah into what was a Mei Reaper, and Choa counterpicking with a Widow to try and deal with the Pharah, contest her positioning. Gets a pick on Film Guy. I think we'll see a swap off of Ashe here pretty soon. The harassment from this angle, very strong from Hunter. He kind of has a position where his cover makes it hard for Choa to punish him while still getting big chunk damage on the tanks. There is the pick though. Choa hits the shot. Big shatter. Coalescence for follow-up and Grav. Grav might have been overkill here. We'll now see the ult economy sway into the favor of Eternity, I believe.
Yep. Well, they're about even actually.
Oh yeah. I see Hunter Killer. He lost his barrage progress off of his swap to Widow, so that swap will cost him in the ult economy. However, Aporia's over-ultage has kind of made it an even fight. Now, the brawl from Aporia forces Rugs from contesting. That's Streets phase for them. They have 5 minutes on the clock, even better than what Eternity had. And now they're getting aggressive, forgetting a bit about the cart here. There we are. Ice Cream, so noble with his cart duty. And he's done with that. He doesn't need that. Now we'll see any more swaps. Ski onto Ana, so now we have double main heals out of Eternity. They're now running Ana Moira. Choa into the Genji. I guess Ski ID is a lot of pressure on him to land sleeps on Choa, who's looking for backline harassment into a double main heal composition here. So there he is, gets the pick on the Hunter Killer just as two more come in. It's big for Aporia. They just have to clean up these tanks in the back here sooner than later. They're making cart progress the whole time, and this is looking really tough for Eternity here. They do need to contest. The cart was not pushed all the way by Eternity, so this will be Aporia's game if they can get it in on this push here. They have a beat to counter the anti. Good focus on Hunter, and the picks are just rolling in. I don't think spawn advantage will, and it does not save Eternity. There's Aporia with a 3-2 win on Blizzard World. So that's now 2-0 in the series for Aporia. We'll see what Eternity can do to change their game plan up in the second half of the series.
Yeah, I would point out Eternity is a new team, right?
Indeed, yeah.
Against a team that's a little more seasoned. Aporia must be feeling pretty good though about this 2-0 so far though. Let's see how clutch Eternity's able to be if they can turn things around.
I can tell you, I feel like most players on Aporia are feeling like this is the moment they've finally they've been waiting for so long, right? Like the strong teams they've been facing in the opening of this season here has really left them to appear as a weaker team with their 0-4. But you look at their players and you look at how they're playing here. They've got very coordinated play compared to lots of the teams you see in this league. I think you're going to see them pick up wins in the coming weeks and really show themselves to be middle of the pack to upper tier team that they really are.
Yeah.
So now,
for them. But let's not call it yet. Let's not call it yet. So the third map is going to be what?
Oh, I'm not saying they have it in the bag. It's still their game to lose. You know, reverse sweeps are pretty infamous within Overwatch. However, I'm saying they are definitely an underrated team. You would look at their standings and think they're worse than they really are. Now, next map is Volskaya Industries. We're going to go into a 2CP. And for this map here, draws are definitely in the favor of Aporia now. Eternity has to win the map to stay in this. If it becomes a draw, then the series goes to Aporia, and regardless of map differential, they'll take the series. So it's very important for Eternity that they get a really strong showing here. This is the first step to their last chance to win this.
Alright, I'll give the captains a moment.
We'll sort out any roster swaps that either team may have, and then we'll get right into the third map of this series. It's Aporia versus Eternity. For those just joining, the score is 2-0 for Aporia.
Got a ready from Hunter. From Eternity, that is. I have no idea what UWU is. I think that's a face.
Indeed it is. Looks like
Looks like they're ready.
they are ready.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries.
And it looks like Aporia is eager to play. Chomping at the bit here to begin.
Initiating match.
Now, even if Aporia wins this, we'll still be going to the fourth map, correct, Stamer?
We will be playing 4 maps. In the case of a 2-2 draw off of those 4, we'll be playing a tiebreaker on another control map. But that does require Eternity to pick up wins on both Volskaya here and the next map, which, if you'll all hold your breath in bated anticipation, is Route 66. So Eternity needs 2 solid wins to stay in this series. A draw will be the series going to Aporia. So we'll see how they play in this third quarter of the series here. We got from Eternity, it looks like they're going to be running Snoats, which is a variant of Goats. You'll see the Diva role being swapped out for a Mei. It's really strong in splitting teams and providing that extra crowd control element. It will reduce the peel ability that they'll have for their Zen, and they are running a Zen instead of a Lucio. So I guess they're putting a lot of emphasis on burst damage on a discorded target, so we'll see how this plays out for Eternity. Meanwhile, for Aporia, they're running a Bastion Hanzo comp. Double main support with Ana and Mercy here. Probably keeping the damage boost and res to pocket this Bastion. Ana to keep the tanks in the brawl. And a crossfire angle from the Hanzo. This is going to be a tough one to push into here. Very tight positioning from Eternity.
They're a little split up. That's not good for their start. Oh,
they fit themselves in there. Ruben, a little aggressive, gets picked off the start, and now we'll see Vonda going in for a res from behind. Choa being forced back as the brawl approaches them extremely quickly. Rug's getting picks as well, and this brawl just might be too much for Aporia to handle. Choa having to deal with flankers and off-angled pieces of fire. The wall. Oh, this is really bad. If Ice Cream gets staggered at all. Eternity just leaving him behind. They're going in for the 5v6. This is a great tactic here. There's the stagger, and now they're going in 5v6. This could be a huge snowball. There's the beat for initiation. Pick on the Mercy right off the bat. Wall blocks the shatter, and they control the point convincingly. This is going to be a 6-minute time bank if they can get the proper cleanup here. The stun forces the Bastion off the point. That's an absolutely dominant attack here. We'll see if Aporia can match that. That is a pretty high bar to set. 6.5 minutes. That's just about as flawless an attack as you can get. Wow. Eternity really showing up here. They want that win. They said it's not over yet. Don't count us out. And Aporia really shifting up their strategy. It looks like they're going to be running a Doomfist now. We haven't seen them run that in this series yet, so
kind of looks like they're picking characters that can go over walls.
The Rhine Zarya, their tank line is still what they've been running. They don't want to change that up yet, it looks like. But they're going to be playing around a pharmacy, and I assume the Doom is for disruption of the Rhine. However, we'll see if this comp can hold up to an initiation killer quite like Maze Wall. Maze Wall will really hamper where that Doom can leap into, because mobility abilities or not, if you wall him from his team, he's going to be fed to the wolves. The Rhine and the Zarya are going to clean him up, and it's going to be a pushover before it starts.
He's also going up against a Brig in the form of Film Guy, so that's going to be tough territory for that Doomfist to push into.
True. In a duel, Doom would definitely have the advantage on taking her out. However, if he wants to, say, target the Moira, he has to watch out for Film Guy's positioning, as his stun can interrupt a Doom combo and leave him vulnerable within the middle of a team. So we'll see Aporia coming in, cross-firing from behind. It really forces back Eternity. Eternity walls a little early, doesn't get too much of a split. No focus on the Doom, who's within their team line. He does get picked as he's running back into his team. Rez gets off, though. Bubbles a charge. Very early shatter on part of Aporia. Only gets the Rhine. That might be all they need, though, as the pick is up. A wall to help stabilize, but with the numbers advantage, I can see Aporia coming in and cleaning this one up. There's the charge. Rhine's in the middle. May's trying to split him off from his team, but the support is there, and the chaos is just piling up. I think you're gonna see Eternity actually pick up a main support that might be enough to turn this around. Ruben with a pin and a shatter. That should be all she wrote. The barrage just to ensure this fight goes nowhere but in Aporia's favor. They just have to clean up the Moira. Should not be a problem for a Doom and a high charge Zarya. And that looks like first point for Aporia. That was a messy fight.
Yeah,
it always does when you include a Mei.
Yeah, Eternity actually split themselves up pretty much in that last fight. If they had stayed a little more grouped together, they might have had it.
It is very true. Their target prioritization got kind of split, and you saw the Mei on the Rhine while the Brig was somewhere else, and Moira was in her own world. That disconnection between the team could spell disaster. Now, they do get a Blizzard after the wall to split Aporia. They should be able to punish them pretty easily here. There's the opening with a pick onto the main support. Film Guy, a little over-aggressive.
And that misplaced wall is going to cost them as well that they had to break down there.
We'll see. Rug's dead as well. This
nice split.
Very confident Krav, and followed up with the shatter. Wow, this is a scary position for Eternity to be in. Luckily their Mei hops out a cryo too early. Her stall potential is out of this fight. Respawn advantage. Looks like Eternity will stabilize, but that push, that potential snowball there should wake them up. I think they'll be playing a little different just to ensure something like that doesn't get so close to capping the point on them again.
Yeah, we have yet to see them contest this Pharah. This is the point where they have an opportunity to make a switch.
That's very true.
Doing it. Lucio to contest Pharah.
And it looks like Ice Cream from the Doom over to the Ashe. They want less of a brawl into the Mei. Very smart idea. They're looking more for poke damage, which they will win that fight versus just a Mei. The Brig cannot do anything to add for value to that. Ruben nanoed. Beat saves 4 players for Eternity, but the Shatter just chunks through that very quickly off the follow-up. Blizzard to slow down the fight. We'll see. Numbers in Aporia's favor. Ruben looks like he'll stay alive through the pin. His healers are on top of it. And with this number advantage, this becomes a game of stall for Eternity. They're swapping to Lucio. They already have the Mei prep. Grab from Eternity keeps a nice group up. The follow-up is limited though. Ruben, a nano saves him coming out of the pin. And now we're left with just a complete mess. Eternity actually having many heroes on point. Huge cleanup right as I say that. Stall on Moira and Mei's part. It looks like it's possible for them to hold it. They might want to actually give up a tick just for a proper group up. But as numbers come in, Eternity holds. Eternity holds without a tick. Aporia forced to back out. Wow. This Mei must be infuriating.
Yeah.
Bob walled off! Bob is walled off by Hunter Killer. Leaves him in a very very limited use position. He's out without any value. Another wall. Doesn't get the Rhine split. However, I think that's enough for Aporia to back out and consider a new angle of approach.
Now they're approaching 2 minutes on the timer here, so very strong positioning for Eternity.
Coming in behind Showa with Reaper. It's a sneaky position, and it's really scary for the tanks to have to deal with. They have to deal with behind and in front. Ruben with a pick on Rugs and another stun to clean up on Film Guy. Here comes the stall game from Hunter Killer. Gonna go for supports, very smart, leaves the Nano Drine alone. Grav gets no one, was walled, and ends up getting no value. You'll see though, the picks coming in. Unnecessary Grav. I think Eternity had the numbers and the respawns at that point, but
Yeah,
Grav just...
1-1.
Grav and Shatter just ensures the fight won, but now you'll see an ult economy that could have been much better for them.
Yeah, now I'm surprised actually that push did not go in Aporia's favor. It kind of looked like they were cleaning up there once they took out Rugs in the beginning. So
Now, unfortunate for
holding on.
Aporia here, they had great potential with a Death Blossom Grav, or Death Blossom Shatter might be their new approach here. Ruben looking to quickly charge, swinging his hammer into the front line. He's up to 86%, gets Grav, pinned out. Wall keeps Rugs in close enough to turn around and follow up on the Grav for the rest of the people there. And very good coordination between Hunter Killer and Rugs off of Stumpy's Grav. That is a convincing win, and it leaves a minute left for Aporia to get all 3 ticks on second.
Yeah, it's quite possible that Eternity might be able to hold this one. They're looking real good.
Well, their ult economy is very strong at this point. It looks like Blizzard and Shatter for Eternity facing off against Aporia's ult economy. They have 3 ults ready, Shatter and Death Blossom when paired together. Really strong opener, so you'll have to see Eternity play this one smart. We'll see how they play it. Wall doesn't get Ruben. They open up with a Blizzard here. Shatter gets 2, but Choa dies before the Death Blossom can get put off, and now we're in a situation where Eternity looks like they have this one in spades. Clean up on Drastic. That's it. There's no one to touch. Eternity turning this one around very convincingly. I think going into map 4 here, you'll see Aporia. They need to figure out a new strategy to deal with this Mei. It's really messing with their flow.
Well, you know that I hate a good Mei.
What do you mean? She's one of the most satisfying heroes to play into.
Not when you're a support.
Well,
Right,
this is
There's gonna be which map again?
Route 66.
That's right. Thank you.
So it looks like that Mei comp is doing wonders for Eternity. They've noticed Aporia, their Brawl comps and their Goats comps, something that they've been running basically this whole series here, is a little loose in the space gap between their backline supports and their front line. And when you give a space between these two in such a Brawl comp where your tanks don't have a mobility to escape a wall blocking a choke, it ends up leaving them in a situation where a Mei wall cuts the team in half and creates easy team fights for Eternity. So I think that an open map like Route 66 may make the Mei's wall a little less effective in cutting these team fights up. However, it is a strategy that has been working for Eternity very well. It turned them from a team kind of being dominated these first 2 maps to the performance you just saw in Volskaya. Complete 180. They might try and stick with it and force Mei on Route 66 just because of the crazy success and turnaround they saw this last map. And for those of you just joining us, it is 2-1 for Aporia. We are on map 4, which is Route 66. We just need the go-ahead from both team captains, and then we should be able to get right into this.
And I'm just checking in chat here. Zone Edge asking if we're playing another map. We are. Alright, we're ready. Let's do it.
to Route 66.
No, I think if Eternity gets lucky and they're on attack first, that'll put them in a more advantageous position to try to put in a strong performance first. But let's see.
So we see Moira, Lucio, Brig. Telltale sign of Aporia about to run goats here. We'll see how their comp fills out. Looks like Stumpy onto maybe not Hanzo. He's swapping around.
Oh, Vondas has left the game.
Oh, pause.
I don't remember what control it is. I'll just
Ready
back it
for
out.
battle.
Alright. Let's get started again.
Hold on, DK. Can you quickly bind your pause button?
Traveling
Oh, I
You can
did.
be able to do it from the game. Just go to Options, Controls,
Yeah, I did
and then
already.
right at the very bottom. You got bound? Awesome.
Yep. So hopping back in. Looks like Hunter Killer is going to stay on that May.
ready for battle.
Alright, so it looks like Eternity's going to be on attack here.
And
Still
it
picking
looks
their
like
left.
they've realized their success with the Mei. They're gonna stick with it. Mei and Bastion. These are some pretty unique heroes you don't see in competitive all that often. Seeing them played together, I wonder what kind of synergy they're going to establish. From Aporia, on the other hand, they're running a triple support solo DPS with Choa on the Junk. Junk, a very appropriate pick as far as dealing with the Bastion. They'll be glad to see that in their opening. They're playing
Absolutely.
up top. This is going to be interesting. They're going to jump right on top and... oh no, the Mei's discovered them. Here comes the wall. They're walled off. And there's two people split from the team on Aporia. I think you're going to see... not as good follow-up from Film Guy and the rest of Eternity as you'd like, and Ruben actually manages to
they had an
stall out
opportunity there.
until the rest of his team come down from the broken wall, and they're holding cart now, Aporia is.
That was a nice wall there.
Forces the Rhine to rotate around. It gives Eternity an opportunity to push into Aporia before the Rhine rotates. Choa, showing Junk's proficiency in destroying Omnix, gets Bastion very quickly. Rug's down. This has to be a hard reset. Eternity's going all the way back into spawn. Let's see if any composition changes make their way here. They're going to run Farah McCree now. Very strong for the Farah pick. You'll notice there's no hit scan or no real way to contest a Farah. With the Mercy as well for damage boost, the off angles this Farah is going to be able to hold is just going to really punish the composition of Aporia here. Now, Film Guy does get picked
Absolutely.
early. We'll see if they
Adam's
res.
unhappy.
Choa behind, no one paying attention to him. He gets out with without any picks, but he does force the coalescence.
Now it's interesting though, you can see that
Overextension
Farah
of
is
ice
still not
cream.
really focusing on that Junkrat, and It's a real opportunity for them to take that Junkrat down, unless they're trying to leave.
Ooh, the boop
tries to
shows
recover the health.
Fonda to the door. With that, I think main heal's down on part of Aporia. They're going to have to let this one go and just wait for their reinforcements to come in. It looks like they're kind of...
That seems like they're going to stagger themselves.
The Lucio does get staggered.
Zarya,
she better not. She better pray that Eternity doesn't know she's there. It seems like they don't. She does have grab, very large potential to make a play here. Ruben coming in for follow-up. Same with Choa. That should be both tanks very low. Ruggs is down for Eternity, and very sneaky play.
That was a risky play. Yeah.
Ice Cream swaps to Widow, cleans up Hunter, and let's see if Hunter's going to play Pharah for the barrage or if he's going to make a swap immediately. He looks like he's going to keep the barrage for next play, but much more appropriate comp to deal with what Eternity is running coming out of the respawn from that last fight here. Aporia, early pick on Film Guy. They're going to res it now, so not a big stagger, but no res coming into this next fight. And the Pharah being played into the Widow means that they just might need it.
Junkrat's gonna try and create some space here.
Tyre with an early pick. No res, still on cooldown. Eternity
got some work. Oh.
Gets some picks on the DPS backline. Axe. Axe getting picks right back. He kills the Zarya.
Now Eternity's got numbers advantage at this point.
Rhine, rather. Now we'll see pretty well both teams full strength coming in. High Noon. High Noon negates any follow-up on that grab until the end. Big barrage from Hunter to kill Ruben. However, the backline is weak on Eternity's part, so it looks like they're gonna have to come up with big plays on part of Hunter Killer, Ruggs, and Stumpy. Grav really catches Ruggs in a tough position. Bubble keeps the follow-up from getting to him. And the tank brawl from Eternity looks like they'll keep themselves in this fight for a little bit. Axe gets picked and...
a couple switches in here. We've got a hamster
and
we've
Ruben.
also got...
A Shatter gets Vonda and Ruben. They're both down. The Hammond's going to chase the Widow out. Choa onto Soldier. And with that, it looks like first is going to be Eternity's, unless Axe comes in for a stall. It looks like Aporia is going to fight this one. Coalescence chunks down Draztik's HP. Ruben, the only one brawling on the point for Aporia, he gets taken out, and as the cleanup happens, Eternity gets first. There we are.
Yeah. Surprised there a little bit. They had a bit of a weak performance in the beginning, but nice follow through up towards the end. They're getting their act together. Let's see if they can keep it going.
You'll notice Film Guy swapping to the Tracer already has pulse. He'll probably be looking for an opening to really weaken the tank line of Aporia.
Got spotted by Flex.
Yeah, that means a lot to Aporia in this upcoming fight. Shatter cleans up. Coalescence, definitely not needed there, but
now
clean fight anyways.
Back out here. I'm not sure why they're contesting that point. Out of overtime.
He makes his way. Oh, a big stagger, and this is a big win condition for Eternity here. They need their Tracer to be able to harass and deny lots of value from the dual hit scan backline of Aporia here, especially the Widow. However, he's been getting picked off before he can do anything like that thus far, so
and in that last play, it wasn't even necessary for him to be out there. He had no reason to.
Oh, the fight was lost at that point. Shatter gets bubbled and shielded. His pin doesn't get followed up as he's too aggressive. Mines deny the high ground of Saloon. However, it looks like Aporia has no problem playing on the low ground. Hammond
Now,
going
they're
in,
leaving
he's
Ruben
low,
split
he
off
gets picked.
uncontested here.
And now,
Yeah, Hammond
with a number advantage, you're going to see Aporia come back in, and they catch the Mercy. Mercy's bubbled, but too much damage to save.
Now Choa's got ult up. Not really doing a whole lot with it just yet.
Mercy,
And
Film Guy as Tracer down again. It's, I feel like composition change is going to be needed on Eternity's part here. We'll see if they try anything special here.
and that's going to be a near thing for them getting back to point. The Tracer's doing her thing. I'm not
With
sure why
10
Mercy
seconds,
popped so early.
they could have waited for the stall. I think they're going in for initiation before Aporia respawns come back in. Shatter gets 3. Pin on the Zarya means he can't get the kill. Stumpy in the back getting healed up. Now Eternity with a strong advantage here. Oh, Grav, can it be followed up on? The Coalescence saves them. Shatter gets 3. Same mistake. Pins the Zarya, but the Zarya was chunked down by Stump, so he gets followed up anyways. And with
looks
that,
like Eternity's going to hold it for that point again with their last minute overtime push. 2 in a row.
Eternity, they're an overtime team. What can I say? Now, Hunter Killer keeping sights up, making sure that no one comes in through top to try and contest. And it looks like that's Streets done. They're on to final. We'll see if both teams stick with the Widow. Any composition changes. You do see Ice Cream play onto the Genji. That's going to be interesting into Ryan Zarya. Choa wins the sniper duel, and that immediately gives Aporia grounds to hold it right at the corner here. They're going to go in, contest the point, start the brawl. We'll see if they can take Rugs out. Choa, another pick on the Film Guy.
Yeah, Film Guy's
Just as Hunter comes back.
Really hurting the team here.
There's
Oh,
Hunter
and Choa
getting a
gets
pick on
picked.
Choa. And with the main tank down, Aporia is going to need to back out here. Let's see if Axe, a little greedy going for charge, but he gets out just fine. This Widow angle's really dangerous. Hunter Killer's going to get some big value out of his shots. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. There's Choa. Jam Jam actually going on the aggression here. She gets 2. This is now a tough situation for Aporia. They have 1 fight and they want to group up here. This might not be in their best interest to push like this, but Film Guy over aggressive. Dual grabs. Let's see which one comes out on top. It looks like Aporia is going to have the numbers here. They're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, they do get shattered. There's a bomb. Doesn't get anyone.
Now, being out
Eternity
that Mercy's
pushes it
really
pretty
hurting
far,
him
but
here.
I don't feel like they have a
think they can do
chance to turn this one around here.
Nope. And
There's a
it
hold
goes.
for Aporia.
Yeah. Now,
Good
what really
progress
bucked
by
them there,
Eternity,
was
however.
Mercy stopped to go for the res, and while she was rezzing, she got picked off by Moira. If she hadn't done that, it might have
yeah.
gone differently. But still,
one
a very
thing-
strong push. That was an exciting nail biter of the game. See how they do on defense. What were you saying, Stamer?
One interesting aspect of this is Film Guy. He's been on Tracer ever since the stall for OT on first point. I feel like his value has been very limited by the zoning from Choa's Widow, as well as just the bubbles, the Moira, which is a hard to dive healer, right? It's not been getting a lot of value for Eternity. I'm wondering if they're going to make any composition swaps to help with the DPS issue that is that Tracer. It hasn't been doing them as much good as it could have been, right?
Yeah. Well, he still hasn't chosen a character yet, so we'll get to see what he picks in a moment. Looks like there's some discussion going on within Eternity as to what their team comp should be. Alright, here they come out of the gate. We've got Hunter on Genji this time, Film Guy on Hanzo. Otherwise a pretty typical comp. We've got Moira, Lucio, and Ryan Zarya. We've got Drastic for Aporia is back on Ana. Showa this time is pushing with Tracer. And
You'll
Alright,
notice
yeah, okay.
a lot of vertical mobility in the DPS lineup of Eternity here. which is a very good reason for them to hold gas station. Allows Genji to poke and retreat up to his team very easily. You'll see this off angle. He's pulling right here, just above the bridge. It's going to be a tough one for not Panora, for Aporia to deal with.
Now we can see Eternity staying up top of the gas station here. No picks on either side yet. Looks like Genji's trying to go around back behind
Eternity
Aporia.
makes the drop. A sleep and an anti onto Ruggs. He's going to get picked off of it. The pin lands. Ruben cleans up his own damage. Hunter Killer picked off early. And at this point, it's just clean up.
And that's team cleanup.
That shatter was pure BM.
Now, it's worth pointing out that Aporia has been doing a much better job of cleanup than Eternity has this whole matchup. I think that's a consistent theme we see in games, that the team that's better at cleanup tends to have a much stronger performance. Maybe that's something for Eternity to be working on.
Very true. I feel like the initiation of the DPS and tanks from both compositions has seen limited coordination, but the quality supports from both teams has let the initiations go relatively even, such that it's the that brawl at the end, the chaos. Whoever thrives in that tends to win the fight, and Aporia's cleanup is just really strong. It seems in these few maps here. You do see Film Guy go to Mei. Now we'll notice Mei comps worked very well for Eternity on Volskaya, but Hunter Killer was on the Mei. We'll see Film Guy on it now. We'll see if their playstyles change the outcome, or if they're going to find equal success in this composition. Unfortunately, they do kind of stagger themselves here, and they leave themselves in a position where they have one last fight in streets before checkpoint is captured. We're going to run Mei Reaper. Hunter Killer onto the Mei now. So this is what they were running on Volskaya that saw much success. However, Pulse Bomb out of the gate gets Hunter before the fight's even open. The DPS were in before their tanks showed up, and now we're in a position where Grav for quick cleanup. They say no stall allowed, and Ruggs among his team, last one standing, but not for long.
Yeah, I think Eternity had a shot there, but they got a little too nervous about that point. They had more time to regroup before pushing in without the full team there.
Oh, they had plenty of time. I feel like that staggered initiation was their downfall in streets, and this map is the last map in the series if Aporia pulls a win out, so Eternity really needs to clean up their initiation for this last point here. 5 minutes on the clock. This is going to be a tough defense. Oh, slept out of Shatter. Ruggs loses his ultimate. Showa in the back line. Lots of harassment. Film Guy gets an early pick on Ruben. Traded as Ice Cream hits the shot. Grav comes in. One pick off of the Grav, but Ruggs trades his life for it. This fight stalls out, but the ult economy that comes out of this fight purely in Aporia's favor. Now, Eternity does get the hold, but you'll notice 4 ults versus 3, and the big ults that were lost by Eternity might hurt them the most. They lost Shatter, and they used Grav. So with sights, that really makes Sneak Grav scary. You'll see Mei playing up top, looking for a split. She actually goes in with a Blizzard. Axe, even with his bubble, seems to get caught in the fight.
That Blizzard was huge.
Sends in a grab. Big anti on the grab, but the beat saves it. No follow-up on it. Can't get any picks. Eternity, again, picks up Aporia's main tank, and there's nothing else to be done there. Drastic pick.
They could have gone with a better stacker on Drastic there. That was a good opportunity, but that's okay.
In the grand scheme of things, pretty small detail compared to the plays they've been making, but Eternity have been playing this third point right. They've been holding it at the corner for just about 2 minutes now. They're gonna wall off Ruben. The bubble keeps him from being frozen, and the heals keep him up. Shatter gets 3. Locked. Death Blossom.
Huge wall.
Aporia turning this one around from a very rough-looking start. They managed to keep Ruben in the fight, and now he goes on the aggressive here. He's creating space, pushes Eternity way back, and now we'll see one last fight for Eternity.
Yeah,
This is, they cannot lose this fight. They have an ante on bugs, or rugs rather. Wall splits the team. Aporia, shattered blocked by Stumpy's bubble. Now this Blizzard may make or break it. There it is. It really controls and dominates the point, and Eternity convincingly. Will they stagger that Zarya? They don't want to drop for her. Very smart. The respawns are coming in, and that could have been a huge mistake if they got aggressive on that. So.
Oh, absolutely. That was a smart play by them. Alright, they're not looking like they're in such terrible shape right now. Let's see how this goes.
2 minutes, but keep in mind, this is... There's a grab. Wall keeps them in it, but Barrage from the off angle, that is absolutely devastating. And that is a team kill, that is the map, and that is the series. Aporia 3-1.
Well, I think that we saw a real strong performance by Eternity there. I think everyone was rooting a little bit for the underdog, and exciting to see them push back there. I think they just need a little bit more practice, honestly. They're a newer team, but
they show potential, especially in Volskaya. I think their strength came from engagements where the map was really in their favor and there was no time pressure. Anything regarding, you know, control, where it's like a mix of attack and defense, or anything involving carts where it's kind of a variable of where you're attacking or defending or staggering or all these things. They seem to struggle with that, but 2 CP and any like hard objective points seem to be their strength, especially with that Mei. They know how to punish split teams with that. It's just unfortunately there's a really strong performance by Aporia. Their brawl was just second to none in this encounter here.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how it would have gone if they'd brought out the Mei in the first map. Might have made things play out a little bit differently.
It may have made things play out differently.
Alright, so let's bring our team captains in here for interviews post-game, and then we'll wrap things up. Thanks so much to all of our viewers, who are probably all people in the league. Alright, so we're going to bring in AOA and Hunter. Hey, congratulations.
It was a very strong showing from you guys.
Oh, I was just saying who you are. This is AOA joining us from Aporia. We've also got Hunter Killer joining us from Eternity. Nice game to everyone.
GG. Yeah, so you guys, it was good.
Well, actually, I think from the commentator position, I'd say the most influential pick of this whole series was actually Hunter Killer. You swapping onto that Mei absolutely transformed how your team played. I was wondering, is that something you guys kind of practiced or talked about as a strat, or was that something you pulled in as a stall tactic that ended up just really working in favor of your team's play style?
So as a team, that was our first game together. We didn't really have the most time to scrim, and that's just a pocket pick.
Well, you looked really good for your first game.
Thanks, yeah. Just trying to get our stuff together.
Yeah.
I think with a little more practice, you guys have some serious potential, so I'm excited to see where things go.
Well, speaking of, it seemed like that Mei had Aporia really stumped for the entirety of Volskaya, and it really showed Eternity as the dominant team for that map. But when it came to Route 66, there's something about it that just clicked for Aporia and allowed them to kind of play around that Mei in a different fashion that allowed them to end up pulling the win. Do you know what it was that Aporia just figured out that allowed you to play around that Mei so well, Showa? Very
And I think
nice.
ult economy is also something that came into play here as well. It looked like you guys were being a little more conservative, although there were a few BMs that we noticed there by Aporia. What do you guys think about the way ult economy impacted this game? Yeah. Now, Hunter, I definitely noticed that Eternity had a little bit more trouble with cleanup than Aporia did, and that was something else that made a big difference in these games. What do you think that you guys can do to work on your cleanup for future games?
Yeah, so we're just gonna try to scrim together more and focus on each other's personalities and playstyles and how aggressive and passive we are. We're just gonna try to
All right.
work out our cleanup stable and how stable we are on the cleanup and what we have to clean up first, second, third, last, and so on.
All right. Good, good.
All right.
What about
Very cool.
Aporia? Do you guys have any advice for Eternity?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for the
Well, nice
advice.
job by everyone involved. Damer, do you have any other questions you want to throw in here?
No, I think that's all. So that was week 5, Aporia versus Eternity. Thanks to the team captains for coming in for the interview. We finished it with a 3-1 victory for Aporia, and we'll see you guys next time.